Books were the first mass medium, and like all media, they express the world around us. From the codex to ebooks, books have come a long way. Books started out as clay tablets, and today we have the ability to read books on Kindles, iPads, and computers alike. Without books, we would not have all the knowledge we have gained throughout history today. Up until 500 BC, stories were shared through paintings and talking. There were multiple problems with this method of communication. For example, stories would be incorrect and also disordered from generation to generation. This method of communication continued until the Romans invented the codex. The codex was the earliest form of the book, which was a quire of manuscript pages bound together by stitching. In 1000 AD, the Chinese invented a paper-making technology, which produced cotton-based paper, and in 1200 AD, the Europeans made the switch to using cotton-based paper as well. Illuminated manuscripts, which were manuscripts in which the text was supplemented by the addition of decorations such as decorated initials, borders, and miniature decorations, became popular in the medieval times. During the medieval times, books were influenced by the clergy because the church restricted what books could be reproduced. During this time, only a small percentage of the population was literate, and scholars had to travel long distances to use libraries. In 1453, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press, which allowed for more books to be made in a timely manner. In colonial America, the first print shop opened in Cambridge in 1630. In 1731, Benjamin Franklin established the first paid subscription library in Philadelphia. In the 1800s, paperback books and later dime novels became popular because they were less expensive than regular books. Paperback books and dime novels were less expensive because they were made from machine-made paper. In 1860, dime novels and chapbooks were created and became popular books that were sold at a cheap price. In 1885 is considered to be the era of pulp fiction because 1/3 of the books sold were dime novels or paperback books. In the 1900s, offset printing lithography was developed, which is where books were printed from photography plates, not just engraved metal. This method of printing was cheaper, which led to computerized typesetting. The advances in this time period eventually led to being able to write books by typing on a computer, which is what we've done today. Today, most people read books for academic purposes or for leisure. Take a look at what these individuals had to say and how often they read books, whether they prefer reading physical books or digital books, if they listen to audiobooks, and if they think books are important in today's world.
I read books when I'm mostly required in school, but sometimes I read books that interest me, such as technology. At my school, I work as a tech intern, and then I learned about cutting-edge technology. Over the summer, I used my iPad as my summer reading book. I can read on there, I can highlight, take notes, and it's much simpler than carrying around a heavy book and having a separate piece of paper. And I can bring the iPad anywhere I go, such as like reading by the pool, or staying by the beach, or in my bed, or wherever.
I sometimes read books, but read mostly at school, but also at home. I like most of the books we read at school, but my favorite is To Kill a Mockingbird. I really like the plot and the message it told. I prefer to read from a physical book because I like being able to hold it and not be distracted. I listen to audiobooks in school, but I usually have the physical book right in front of me. Yes, I think books are very important today because without them we wouldn't have a lot of the knowledge that we have. It's also really important for books to be around so the knowledge will continue.
Well, we only started our leisure reading collection, I think, last year. It's very popular with both students and non-students. We don't offer audio downloads or the kind of downloads that the public library has. They use a system called Overdrive. We don't have that for kind of fun books. We do buy a lot of more scholarly books online now just because it gives more access to people across Penn State. So just because the book isn't physically here on campus doesn't mean you can't use it because now it's available online. But what I will say is I don't think people love that. I think students still prefer to have the book.
In conclusion, the evolution of books has impacted our world in many different ways. Books influence the way we were educated and what we think about certain situations. Books also act as an escape for people to get away from their everyday lives.